Hello and welcome to ATech. My name is Akshay and we are back with the new part of this tutorial series, which is C# tutorial for beginners, and today we will learn what is anonymous methods and lambda expressions in C#. So these are the only contents that we will be looking in this today's tutorial. There is anonymous method in C# and what is lambda expression in C#. Okay. So first of all, anonymous method. So anonymous method, as the name suggests, they are methods without any name and having just the body. Okay, so we will understand that in the action, so don't worry about that. But before that, let's just understand what the second point is. That is, they can be passed as a parameter to a delegate instance instead of defining a method and passing it to a delegate instance. Okay, so let's just see directly into an action what this means. So for that, let's just switch to Visual Studio. So to make you guys understand this concept, I will use a very simple example here. Okay, let me create one class here. Okay, class student. And inside that we will take only two properties here. A very simple example we will see, so that we will understand this better, what is this anonymous method and lambda expression. Okay, so first will be first name and second property will be a last name. Okay, and I will take one constructor here, that is public student, and in that we will pass that first name as argument and the last name as argument, and we will initialize that to our property. Okay, so string first name string last name, and we will initialize that to our properties. So first it will be last, that is second, that will be last name, and first it will be first name. Alright, and let's just have one parameterless constructor as well, because we know as soon as we provide any parameterized constructor, so compiler will no longer provide this default constructor which will take a zero argument. Okay, so we know that we have learned this everything in this tutorial series, okay, already. So alright, okay, so now what I will do, I will create the instance of that class, and I will create first object here, and I will explain you guys in a bit so what I am doing, so don't worry about that. But before that, let me just create 2 or 3 students here. New student, and let me just copy this. Alright, so I will just change the name of these objects, and I will pass first name and last name, and similarly here as well. Let's say John Wayne, and here Edward Wayne. Alright, and now let's just create one list which will be of student type, so that we can add these objects into this list. Okay, so list is equals to new student, that is list of student, and in that we will pass these objects, that is S1, S2 and S3. Okay, and now what I want to do is that I want to check in this list, because we know we have this list, and in that list there are 3 students, okay, with name Akshay Borje, John Wayne and Edward Wayne. And now what my requirement is, I want to check, basically I want to find a student whose name start with A, maybe whose name started with A and maybe whose name start with B, just like that. I want to find a student whose name starts with A. Okay, this is my requirement. And now to find out such student, what I will do, I will not directly create one function here. Instead of that, I will create one delegate here, and through that delegate I will invoke that method. Okay, and why I am doing that, I will explain you in a bit. So I will first create that delegate here. So public delegate, and which will be void, which will return nothing. I will directly show that onto the console. Okay, so that is why I am creating delegate such like this, and I will name that maybe a student delegate. Okay, student delegate. All right, and what it will expect is a list of student. Okay, and yes, I have to make this class as public. Okay, because if I don't make that as public, so it will be less accessible here. Okay, so that is why. And now, as we know, we have to create a method which will have a return type and a parameter, that is the signature of a method that will match the signature of this delegate. Okay, and now guys, if you haven't watched that delegate tutorial in this tutorial series, so I recommend you guys to go and watch that first. Okay, so in order to understand this better, otherwise you will not understand how we use delegate and why I am creating this delegate and invoking that method through a delegate. Okay, so that is why go and watch that first in order to understand this better. Okay, so now coming back to this concept, so what I will do now, I will create one method which will match the signature of this delegate. Okay, so let me just copy this from here, and I will create one method here in this class, and I will name that as student, maybe student name start with A. Okay, something like that. And in that, what I will do, I will create one list here. Okay, another list that will be of type student only, and let's say list, I will name that as result list. Okay, so it will be a result list. Whatever student who has a name starting with A, we will add those students inside this list. Okay, so let me define that completely like this. And now what we will do, we will loop through this list which we are passing in this method, and we will loop through that, something like this. That should be only list. All right, so in that, what we will check in this if condition, so this student inside this list dot first name dot starts, that is this first name starts with A, and if it is so, then we will add that student inside this result list. Okay, so we will add that student if it is so, if that first name starting with A, we will add that student inside this result list. Okay, and after that, what we will do, we know after this for each loop completes its execution, we will have the result list, and in that result list there will be a students whose name starting with A. Okay, so after that we will loop through that result list. Okay, so where student in that result list, and in that result list there will be a student whose name start with A, and those student we will show onto the console. Okay, so student, and we will have one console here as well which will give a meaningful message there. Console.writeLine list of students whose name starts with A. Okay, okay, and also I will have one console.readline here. Okay, all right. And now what we will do, we will just create an instance of that delegate here, that is student delegate s is equals to new student delegate. Maybe I will name that as s delegate. Okay, and we know what we have to pass in the instance of these delegates, the method which has the same signature as that of this delegate. Okay, and we know we have created that method here, that is this student name starts with a, which is having the same return type as that of a delegate, and which is taking one parameter which is of type list, same as that of a delegate. Okay, so that is why we can pass that here, and we know it is a instance method, so that is why we have to call that onto the instance. So we have created these three instances here, so we can use one of them. So I am using this s1. So s1.student name start with a, and we can call that something like this, and now we have to invoke this delegate, but we cannot invoke that something like this directly here, because we know this method requires a parameter. Okay, and so as this delegate. Okay, so if I hover my mouse over here, we will see that there is no argument given that corresponds to the required formal parameter list of student delegate. Okay, so it requires that list. So where is that list? This is the list, and I will pass that to this delegate instance. Okay, and let's just run this project and let's see if we get that output, that is a list of student, or maybe a student whose name starts with a. That is this list of students whose name starts with a. And yes, I didn't print anything there. Actually, I have just write that console.writeLine, and I have passed that object. Okay, so instead of that object, there should be a first name and a last name. Okay, that is student dot last name. Okay, and now I will print this, I will run this, and we will get that student whose name starts with a. Okay, so list of students whose name starts with a, Akshay Borji. And let's say I will add one another student here, that is maybe student s4 is equals to new student, so that we will understand if it is working. Let's say Adam Walker maybe. Okay, and let's run this project again, and we will get two students here. Okay, if it is working. And yes, before that we have to add that object here, that is s4, we have to add into this list so that it will loop through that. Okay, and now I will run this, and we will get those two students whose name starts with a. So our program is working fine. And now let's just see what is anonymous method. Now what do you guys think, that is this a efficient way to create this method here in this class, and after that we are passing that to this delegate instance. So now what if in the future we want a method which will return a name which will return a student whose name starts with B and whose name starts with C, and so on, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, and until Z, if we want such method. So is this a really efficient way to each time create this method here in this class, and we are passing that to this delegate instance? So instead of that, what we can do, we can directly create this logic here itself. That is, we can directly pass that logic here itself, instead of creating a method somewhere else and calling that method, that is passing that method to this delegate. So instead of that, what we can use is an anonymous method, that is a method without any name. So how we can do that, let's just see. So we know instead of this method to be passed here, we can directly pass this logic here. Okay, so I will just get this logic from here. I will copy this, and what I will do, I will just comment this method. Okay, and I will pass that logic inside this instance, that is delegate instance, something like this. But now it is giving error. And why? Because to pass this logic as well directly, we have to use anonymous method. And how we use that? We will just use this keyword, that is delegate, and there will be this parenthesis, and we will put that logic inside these two curly braces, something like this. And again, one thing we know, this delegate requires a parameter. Okay, so we will define that parameter here, that will be of list of student, that is student, and let's just create a variable, that is list. And now we can use, and I will name that as list1 because we are already using that list here. Okay, so that is why I will use that list1, and instead of this list I will make that as list1. Okay, and we are already passing a list here. Okay, so now just try to understand, guys, that we are passing this list, that is this list, into the constructor, into the instance of this delegate, and what we are passing into the instance of this delegate, this anonymous method as well. Okay, and we are defining that right here in this constructor, in this instance of this delegate, instead of creating this method somewhere else and calling that to this instance of this delegate, we are creating right there, we are creating this method right there itself without any name, and which is nothing but called as an anonymous method, which is nothing but a method only. Okay, so let me use one enter here, and you will see that this is nothing but a method which is having one parameter, which is having a body, but only one difference, instead of a method name we are using this keyword, that is a delegate, and that is nothing but, and that's what is mentioned on the slide. Let me show you that we have read here. Anonymous methods are the methods without any name and having just the body. They can be passed as a parameter to a delegate instance instead of defining a method and passing it to a delegate instance. Okay, and there is also one point that wherever a delegate type is required, we can pass there these anonymous methods. Okay, so I will run this again and I will show you that we will get the same output. Okay, so two names, that is Akshay Borje and Adam Walker. So we are getting the same output, but we are using this anonymous method here. Okay, and now what is lambda expression? So instead of this anonymous method, we can replace this with a lambda expression. And how we use that? Instead of using this delegate keyword here, I will get rid of that. We will just use this equal to sign and a greater than symbol, which is nothing but a arrow indicating this code here. So how do we read this? This is nothing but we want a list of student such that is this arrow is nothing but such that the name of the student should start with A. So this is how we read this lambda expression. And now let me run that again and I will show you, we will get the same output. So this is, we are getting same output, and now this time with the help of lambda expression. So these lambda expressions is the syntactical sugar for anonymous methods. This lambda expression is nothing but a syntactical sugar for this anonymous method. Implicitly what compiler do, it will ultimately be convert that lambda expression into that anonymous method only. Okay, so and the second point, that is they reduce the amount of code to be written and can make a block of code as a single line statement. Okay, so let me show you that. Now what I have told you, that compiler will going to ultimately convert this lambda expression into a anonymous method. Okay, and now let me show you that this parameter type is no more required here. So with this lambda expression, we don't require that parameter type as well. Okay, so if I hover my mouse over here, we will see that this type of this parameter is nothing but the list of student, and compiler will invert that at the run time. Okay, so we don't have to pass that parameter type as well. We will only pass that parameter here. Okay, so this is nothing but lambda expression have shortened our code. So before that it was something like this, and we have used this delegate keyword something like this. So it was nothing but an anonymous method, but with the help of lambda expression we have shortened this code. We can get rid of this delegate keyword from here, we can get rid of this parameter type here, and we only have to use this lambda operator here. This is nothing but a lambda operator. Okay, and how we read this? We want a list of students such that that student will have a name start with A. Okay, now as I have told you, now we have used this complex method here, we have created this delegate here, and that is why you guys will not notice any difference between this anonymous method and this lambda expression. For now you guys might not be seeing any difference between this anonymous method and this lambda expression. There, for now this lambda expression may not be shortening this code to more extent, but to show you that, let me give you another example. Okay, so now what I will do, I will just comment this everything here. Okay, and let me make a region of that so that we can minimize that. Okay, so I will make one region here, anonymous method and lambda expression, and I will close that region here, that is end region. Okay, so I will minimize that now. And now instead of this example, to show you that this lambda expression can return in a single line instead of the method, instead of a block of code, to show you that, let me show you one example. Let's say we have this list here. Okay, and there is a method inside this list, that is a find method, and in that what we can do, in this list we want to find a name, students whose name starts with J. Okay, so for that what we can use a simple lambda expression, that is x such that x dot. So if you guys notice, I have get that first name in the IntelliSense itself, so compiler will automatically invert this object to the student object. Okay, so that is why we are getting this x dot first name here, and in that first name I will find if it is starts with A, that is it starts with J. So simple, and I will store that into a result, and I will show that onto the console. Student whose name starts with J. Okay, and we have that name stored into this variable, that is result, and I will show that onto the console. So we will get that John, maybe that John Wayne, yes, and again we have done the same mistake. Here there will be a object, and in that I want to see a first name of that student, and similarly a last name. So in that result dot last name. Okay, John Wayne. So now if you guys notice how simple this code has become with this lambda expression, that is a one line of a code only. So that's how these lambda expressions shorten the code in our application, and that is nothing but going to convert it into anonymous method. So implicitly compiler do all these things for us, and we don't have to worry about that, but we only have to know that how this lambda expression we can use and how these anonymous methods we can use in our application. Okay, but if this lambda expression can be this way, that is in a single line we can be able to find this j, that is this student with whose name starting with j, then why did I use this long method here? And I have shown you that method instead, because with this method we can find the list of student, but here it will only return a single student. Okay, to prove you that, what I will do, I will make this Edward as maybe James. Okay, so James, when now we have two student whose name starting with J. Okay, and now let me run this project again, and we will see that what we will get, that is we will only get this John Wayne. Okay, so we are only getting this John Wayne because it will only going to return a single object, a single student, because as soon as it finds one of the student whose name starts with J, it will return that result only, and it will not even bother to check another student, another element maybe in that list. Okay, so that is why I have used this method here, which is capable of showing all the students whose name starts with whatever we want, that is whose name starts with A or whose name starts with B, C, D and until Z, and we can use that with anonymous methods as well, and we can use that with the lambda expressions as well. But this example I have shown you, that is this example, this list.find result. So I have shown you this to make you understand this lambda expressions makes our code more shortened in our application. Okay, and that's what it is mentioned, that is they reduce the amount of code to be written and can make a block of code as a single line statement. Okay, so if we might have find this name, that is this first name whose name starts with J, so if you would have written some method, so that will be of this much code. Okay, but with the help of lambda expression we have shortened that code to a single line. Okay, and that is why we use these lambda expressions. So this is nothing but the anonymous methods and lambda expressions in C#. Now let's just quickly see the summary. So anonymous methods were introduced in C# 2.0 and can be used wherever a delegate type is expected. Okay, so I have shown you that. So wherever that delegate type is expected, that is in that instance as well, that is that delegate instance, we have passed an anonymous method directly instead of creating one method and passing that there. So we have created anonymous method and we have passed that. So wherever delegate type is required, we can pass that. Okay. So second point, that is lambda expression were introduced in C# 3.0. Okay, so these lambda expressions are nothing but a synthetical sugar for this anonymous method, and these anonymous methods were introduced in C# 2.0, and to make this code more shortened, the lambda expressions were introduced in C# 3.0 and can be used instead of anonymous methods to shorten the code. Okay, and the lambda expression can be used, that is third point, and they can be used to make a block of code to be written as inline statement, as they provide more concise and expressive way to write inline code. Okay, and that we have just seen. So this is nothing but all about anonymous method and lambda expression, and as I have told you guys in previous tutorial as well, that this will be a last tutorial of this tutorial series. Okay, so this is the last tutorial for this tutorial series, that is a C# tutorial for beginners, and I have almost covered all the topics in this C# tutorial. But if you guys still think that if I missed some topics, or if you guys want me to explain you some topics which I didn't cover in this tutorial series, so let me know in the comment section below, and I will make the videos on those topics as well. But for now, this is the last tutorial in this tutorial series, and we will meet in the next tutorial series with the fresh tutorial series. Until then, subscribe to this channel if you find these tutorials helpful, and please share these videos and like, comment, and we will meet in the next tutorial series. Until then, stay tuned and thank you.